Take it away. Show's yours.
All right, excellent. Thank you. All right. Um, so first, I want to welcome everyone to our, to the Benjamin Franklin Middle School Town Hall. As we begin to launch our academic career, our school year, not career, virtually. That is. I have a presentation I'm going to share, and we're going to have some introductions, and we're going to speak to some folks from the PTO as well. But it's very important, for our students and our parents who are here, to tune in, because we have some very critical and important information as it relates to how we have restructured the reopening of the school year remotely. There's a lot that have changed, and we in doing the work that we've done, the goal is to kind of leave things as they were, but just make them remote. So we'll share and talk more about that, when I present, when I present. But I want to first, just welcome everyone. So far, we have about 80 attendees. My name is Mr. Williams. I'm the principal of Benjamin Franklin Middle School. The other panelists, as you see, is Mrs. Marina Williams, and Mr. David DeBell, assistant principals. They will be assisting me and chiming in and out, but I'm gonna share my screen and present the information, and we'll take it from there. Excellent. So as I said again, my name is Terrence Williams. I am the principal of Benjamin Franklin Middle School. Mr. DeBell and Mrs. Williams, they are also here on the panel assisting. Another assistant is someone who um who is always assisting. That is Mr. Muhammad Saleh. He who is he's an integral part of our technology infrastructure here in the district. And thank you, Muhammad, for keeping us linked and really just making certain. I mean, because we couldn't have done any of this work without the work that Muhammad does, because the Chromebooks, the bandwidth, and everything that enhances the way we communicate with our learners and with each other. He makes certain that that it's swift and that it's reliable. For the most part. I'm gonna Muhammad. I'm trying to switch my screen. Okay, there we go. All right. So, one of the things we do every day at Benjamin Franklin Middle School, and it's only right that we share it here again tonight, is we discuss our mission and our vision. For me, it's a constant reminder of the work that's before us. Our mission statement is clearly that the Teaneck Public School District educates and empower students by providing a high quality, rigorous educational experience which prepares students for success within a diverse and global society. Our vision statement, the Teaneck Advantage, educational excellence for all. At this point, I want to acknowledge, the executive team of the Teaneck Public School System. Dr. Christopher Irvin, he's our superintendent of schools, Mrs. Angela Davis, and Mrs. Christine Johnson. They are our assistant superintendents. Ms. Angela Davis is our assistant superintendent of special services. And Mrs. Johnson, she oversees curriculum and instruction. Mrs. Melissa Simmons, she's our BA, our business administrator. Mrs. Terry Corralo is the chief of staff for the superintendent and the director of community relations. We also have Mrs. Erica Cirilli Levine, who is the director of special education. Mrs. Dent, Patricia Dent is our director of school innovation. And she's also, if you give me 1 second, pardon me. If you can, there we go. Yeah, Mo, it's okay. I apologize. Yeah, she's also over English and ESL. Mrs. Keisha Golden Cooper is our director of guidance. And Mr. Muhammad, I introduced him already. He's our Director of Technology. And Tundi Adeowen is our Director of Human Resources. If any of them are present here, this evening, I would like to welcome them to our town hall meeting. And we really appreciate your attendance. Next, we want to acknowledge our Board of Trustees for the Teaneck Board of Education. Dr. Artie Wowser, the President, Mrs. Claire Williams, the Vice President. We also have Mrs. Linda Burns, Mrs. Victoria Fisher, and I'm going to skip one and then go to the other and return back to that one. We have Gerald Reiner, we have Mr. Sebastian Rodriguez, we have Mr. Howard Rose, and we also have Mrs. Denise Sanders. Now, Mrs. Sarah Rappaport, she's the Benjamin Franklin Middle School Board Liaison. So a lot of times, she's in and around the school frequently, as in all of them. But if there's a concern about the school and if you needed to speak to a board member, you can reach out to Ms. Rappaport. Although, I think anyone would take your concern, but Mrs. Rappaport is assigned as the board liaison between the school and the district. And we want to welcome them if any of them are logged on with us this evening. So we introduced ourselves already, but I'm gonna let Mrs. DeBell and Miss Marina say hello to you all, especially Mrs. Marina Williams, especially because she's returning from maternity leave, so we want to welcome her back. But Mrs. DeBell.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Mr. DeBell is my father, so I like to go by Mr. D. But my name is David DeBell. I'd like to first welcome all our new 5th grade families to Benjamin Franklin Middle School. And of course, welcome back our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade families and our students. It's going to be a fantastic school year. We look forward to working with you. This year, I'll be overseeing grade 5 and grade 7. We all work together as a collective team. But we do oversee certain grade levels. So again, I'll have grade 5 and grade 7. But thank you for joining us this evening, and we look forward to working with you. Go Bulldogs.
Thank you, Mr. D. Mrs. Williams.
Hi, everybody. I'm really happy to be back. I set foot in the building for the first time in 6 months on Tuesday, and that was really exciting. I look forward to eventually seeing all of you, and I am also excited for this new school year. I think this new way of learning, at least it's new for me, not for everybody else who's been doing this for 4 months, is going to be a great learning experience. And I look forward to working with everyone. And if you have any questions, especially if you're in 6th grade or 8th grade, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. I also, I'm gonna, introduce and just share, especially with our incoming 5th graders, the administrative staff here at Benjamin Franklin Middle School. So in the main office, you'll find Mrs. Kathy Hollis, you'll find Mrs. Julia Pena, and you'll also find in the counseling office, Ms. Jennifer Henry. All 3 of these ladies are incredible resources to our school. I don't know how we would function as a school without them. Since we've gone remote, they have been extremely busy, keeping the building functioning, running, and you want to make certain that these names, because chances are you will come in contact with them, for anything that you may need, especially if you need to reach out to myself, Mrs. Williams, or Mrs. DeBell. So we want to welcome them if they are on the call. I think I saw Ms. Hollis was here, so thank you for tuning in, Ms. Hollis, and I just wanted to acknowledge you all and thank you for the work that you're doing. At this time, Mo, I'm gonna need you now. We're gonna bring in Mrs. Crystal Goodwin. She is the incoming co-president of the Benjamin Franklin PTO. We're also gonna bring in Mrs. Harris to share some information. And before they come, I just want to share, and and I've probably been saying this since I've come to Teaneck, is that I have never seen a parent-teacher organization that function as, that function as this group does. They keep the school running. They keep the activities flowing, and they are totally committed, to the work, not just for their own children, but for all of the children. Fundraisers and engaging, our students in experiences that just makes their school experience fun. So I want to welcome them, and we look forward to having an amazing school year, even starting remotely. Mo, is there any way that you can add Miss Crystal Goodwin in?
She should be here. Hello, Miss Goodwin.
Ms. Goodwin,
Hi everybody.
how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, there she is. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I said there she is.
I thank you for allowing me to introduce myself. I don't know if Mrs. Harris is on, but we are the incoming PTO for the 2020-2021 school year. Most of the PTO board was part of PTO before. We have a few. We have a new treasurer. We have a few 8th grade parents who are really excited to chair our 8th grade activities this year. We'll continue with the Scholastic Book Fair, box tops, a lot of the activities that were present before. There's Mrs. Harris. Hey, Tamara. We are available. We're all parents, so we're really excited for parents to join us. We're a collaborative team, and we really value that. We're brainstorming like crazy to think of really cool and engaging activities that we can do virtually with the children. We even want to do a focus group to see if what we're thinking about with them is cool. So, you'll be hearing from us a lot. And, I think we're all really excited to just, start this year in the way that we can. And, our information is on the website, and, a lot of you guys know us anyway, but, we welcome you. Mrs. Harris?
Hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to speak briefly to the family. This is my second child in BF, and I have always felt like BF is family and home, so I'm very excited to be part of the PTO board this year. I've done volunteer work throughout the years, and I'm excited. We have an amazing PTO board, and I know you all will be excited, and I'm looking forward to the partnership with the teachers, parents, family, everyone, students. So thank you.
And also, just for the 5th grade parents, this is an amazing school, amazing leadership, Mr. Williams, Mr. Dubell, Mrs. Williams, and your new baby. We value our children being here. Our children are doing fantastic work, and just growing into amazing young people under the BF leadership. So it's a great school.
Thank you, Ms. Goodwin, and thank you, Ms. Harris and Fada. We really appreciate that. And again, thank you for entrusting your children, to our care, and that's a responsibility that we take very serious. All right, but thank you for sharing that information, and we're going to move forward with our presentation. Bye-bye.
Good to see you both.
All right. So about an hour ago, you all should have received a welcome back letter, from the school. I sent it this evening, one, because, I wanted to, send it to remind you all of this meeting that we was having. And I wanted to formally, welcome back, not just those of you who are returning, but our 5th grade family. Mrs. Williams and I was talking earlier, and, usually at this time, we're planning a huge festival where there's food, family, fun, where we just embrace each other as a school community. Given the circumstances, we aren't able to do that, right now at least. But we certainly want to welcome, all of our incoming 5th grade students and families, to the Benjamin Franklin Middle School community. I'm going to echo, what Ms. Goodwin said. This is an amazing school community, and it's amazing not because of any one individual. it's amazing because of the individuals that are a part of this community. You know, it's a sharing and nurturing space where, you know, everyone is responsible for everyone else. And, you know, that's what you want in the school community. So we want to welcome back our returning teachers. We want to welcome back, you know, our rising 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And again, you know, Ms. Williams, welcome back. You know, it was certainly good to see you, when you came in the building last week, I believe. And, you know, we're just, you know, happy to have you back here. You know, so we're going to talk about the norms, and these norms, you know, we created when we presented via Google Meet, but, you know, everyone's microphone is already muted. You know, I share these, you know, norms because as the young people enter, you know, this learning experience, which is really not new anymore because they've been doing it for some time now, you know, it's just a norm, you know, where the microphones are muted and you mute and unmute as they introduce themselves or share information with the group. You know, if you have questions, you know, you can put the questions in the Q&A section and we will work to respond to those questions. Again, you know, there's ways that you can be acknowledged. You can raise your hand. We are on, you know, Zoom, so that, you know, you can raise your hand, and we will, you know, acknowledge you if there's information that you want to share. And again, you know, the comment section. While we won't be doing it here, but if we were using a different platform, a lot of times we respond right in the comment section. So we always ask that you review the comment section to make certain that a question that you've asked and hasn't been answered already. So I'm gonna slide this over here. So the Teaneck Public School Return to School Plan is some information that's been circulating. So this is pretty global. You know, it's just not consistent with Benjamin Middle School per se, but you know, it was decided that our schools, that we were going to go fully virtual. So I wanted to share and just acknowledge that, you know, all of the schools here will be going virtual. The students and staff will engage in teaching and learning, you know, using this remote learning platform. You know, learning will take place every day. You know what I mean? So from Monday to Thursday, there will be a full day of instruction beginning at 8:30 and ending, you know, shortly after at 3 o'clock or 3:15 or 3:14 to be precise. On Friday, we're gonna have half session days. So the students will still have all of their classes. However, you know, they will break somewhere around 12:30, and they'll be done for the day. And the rest of the day, you know, we will continue to work, you know, as a school community to, you know, to prepare ourselves for more instruction, to engage ourselves in professional learning, so that we can, you know, just stay on top of what's current, you know, as it relates to remote learning, you know. And this learning is all asynchronized, you know, meaning it's in real time. You know, there'll be videos and information that'll be shared, but students will be able to engage with their teachers in real time, which is very important based on the feedback that we receive from parents. You know, we will follow the regular school day schedule, you know, as I shared. You know, each period, you know, students will be expected to be in their classrooms. You know, they will be marked tardy if they're tardy. You know, and I know that there's times when, you know, they'll be transitioning. And unlike being in the building, you know, they can certainly take a bathroom break. They can, you know, if they need to grab a snack or something, we just ask that they be ready, you know, at the times that are published, so that, you know, their peers and the teachers are ready to go. You know, we don't want them to hold up anyone, and we don't want anyone to hold them up. You know what I mean? So we want to, you know, respect the time schedule as we return to the regular school schedule, you know, unlike what we did on March 13th. Our staff will return for professional learning on the 1st, and will be engaged in professional development, you know, for the first 4 days. Students will return on the 8th of September. However, that first week that the students return, that's a Tuesday, it will be a half-day schedule, you know, from the 8th until the 11th. So they'll be in for a half day. So learning will still take place, and the staff, will be involved in some more professional learning that will, that will complement the work that we're doing with regards to online instruction. I also want to share that, this plan, right now, it's tentatively till November 12th, the first marking period. And in October, a go forward plan will be assessed, to see how things are. And it is, I believe, everyone's hope that we will, that we will be preparing to return to our building. So the schedule, one of the things that I thought about, when we looked at the schedule is, is there anything that we should be adding to it? And it's our intention to pretty much, as I indicated earlier, to do the same things that we've always done. So we're going to start our day with our morning exercises, the Pledge of Allegiance, where we, go over our mission and our vision statements. There'll be morning morning announcements that are student led, as we've always done. If there's some birthdays that Mr. D wanna give some birthday wishes out, we'll do that as well. And that will take place prior, not prior to homeroom, but that will take place in homeroom. There will be a space where students can absorb this information as they prepare themselves for instruction. So the expectations, is for students to be logged on and ready to learn daily. So while we are going through the pledge, and many of them will be home, so we will do the pledge every day, and we will try to use the same amount of time, or allot the same amount of time, so that when 8:30, not 8:30, but when it's 8:47, students, they should be engaged in instruction. So again, they should be logged on and ready to learn, not at 8:47, but at 8:30, because attendance will be taken daily. And that's going to be monitored many ways. As many of you may remember, you may have been getting notices or notifications from our HERO system, and I thought that was pretty effective. So we're going to continue to utilize that system because, one, it happens in real time. If your son or your daughter is absent and or tardy, we can use HERO to send you a message in real time, which is very important, especially for the parents who may have to work, and you may think that, that learning is taking place, and or someone has logged on, and if they haven't, it's just some information we can get to you sooner than later. And we will continue to monitor this in Skyward as well. So the real-time notifications is the way that we will continue to communicate. We will still make phone calls, and we'll still reach out via email, but those notifications have been helpful and will continue. Another expectation, and is that our students, participate. We want them to participate and engage themselves in this learning. We've had several months to kind of, not test it because we were really learning, but but as we want them to to find ways to be present, and we look forward to working with our teachers during the first 4 days and the subsequent 4 half days to to share some experiences of how they can get our students to participate more. So here's our schedule. Again, it's the same schedule that we've always shared. The only difference is that on Friday it's a half day, and I don't have the half day schedule up here, but I will make certain that we get it to you all. Where the half day schedule, I believe around 12:30, students will dismiss for the day. It was about 12:30, almost 1 o'clock. Mr. D?
5th and 6th grade is 12:35. 7th and 8th grade is 12:45. Okay,
so yeah, so the half day schedule, we just wanted to make certain that everyone is clear on that. We will still be working and engaged, in work as it pertains to professional learning, but our students will be done for the day on Friday, and they can pretty much start a half long weekend. They get a little bit more time, to get things geared up, for Saturday and Sunday. Right. So the remote learning platform, we are going to continue to rely on Google Classroom to provide, a virtual learning experience for our learners. The video conferencing will be supported, using Google Meet, which is similar to Zoom. It's just Google. And, again, in addition to that, there'll be other platforms that we will utilize, such as WeVideo, Peer Deck, and other softwares that will kind of, accentuate, a lot of the learning that will be taking place. And, we look forward, to seeing, what this looks like in real life, because all of our teachers, they're amazing in that, everyone doesn't use everything, but everyone use something that works for the way that they instruct, for the way that they engage their learners. And, as we secure more and more of these learning platforms, I'm looking forward to see how, how it all comes together. They do a lot of sharing, and, we just want you to know, as we shared before, that it's not just Google Meet. There's a lot of other softwares that we're using to kind of engage, our learners. So some of the guidelines for remote learning, and this too is something that was shared globally with our district. So if you have a child, at the high school or in one of our elementary schools, this information again is local. So we are very understanding that that we have to do the daily check-ins to make certain that we are tapping into the social and emotional learning needs of our students. The sharing of schedules, agendas, and learning expectations. This is something that's going to be expected, where students know what's expected of them, firsthand, so they can use this information to guide and monitor their own learning. Our staff will be communicating classroom norms, and we'll be talking about what digital citizenship is about, and also to be safe and secure as they operate online. We want to make certain that the content is accessible for all learners. So if there's anyone who has needs that you think that we're not meeting, you can let us know at the building level, and or Mrs. Erica, Cerulli Levine at the district, and we'll work to make certain that we're addressing the needs of all of our learners. This is especially true of our ELL population and or students with special needs. So communicating with parents and families. I spoke with quite a few parents today during book drop-off, and one of the things that I continue to hear parents say is, thank you for the information that you all are providing us. So we will continue to provide information, to you all as much as we can, as best as we can. I sometimes wonder if we're sending too much information, but the feel that I get is that there's never enough information. So we'll continue to communicate with you via email. Of course, we have the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook page, our website as well, and we will provide information, as much as we can, as best as we can, as it comes our way. We want to support students and families in need of specialized services. Again, you can reach out to us if there's something that you need, with regards to, to online learning, or any other needs that you and or your family, may be experiencing. Please reach out to us. We do have a vast amount of resources. We've been working all summer, at the high school, providing support for families in many ways. And this is something that, that we enjoy doing as a district. We'll work to continue that moving forward. Teachers will provide codes for the Google Classroom via email. I just added that to the slide later this afternoon because there was a question I got via email, and thank you, to the parent who emailed me that, because that is some very important information. So the codes will be provided via email, and or, the students will be invited. They'll get an email, so they can log on, to the Google Classrooms, and, the teachers will, they will build their rosters from there. Monitoring the learning. So in order, to keep our students safe, the district has secured some software, it's called Gaggle, to monitor, the student work. However, every so often, we get emails that tell us that, a student may have said something or may have done something that's questionable, so there's an acceptable use policy that defines the parameters, of this monitoring, so students sometimes, and maybe they don't know it, but, and we do understand that they miss their peers and they want to create places to hang out. So of course, Google have a place called Google Hangouts. And when you go in these classrooms or these chat rooms and they start having conversation with themselves, depending on the conversation that they share, something can sometimes get flagged and it can be sent to me. So if a student is using some sort of slang, or if they're expressing that they're not really feeling well, I can sometimes get a flag or get an email that tell me to check up on that student. So, we do want, our parents and our students to be mindful that, if you say something, especially, if it's about harming yourself, they're going to let Mr. Williams know. I'm going to reach out to mom, and we're going to, of course, seek to find, support for you. The information that is flagged, as I said, it comes to me, it goes, to our director of technology, and sometimes it goes to the superintendent of schools, Dr. Christopher Irvin. And a lot of times, behind the scenes, we have conversations, and I just, assure him that, I did get the email and I am moving on it, and again, we want our students to know that, we have a vast amount of services, and, these times are challenging, not just for students, for many adults as well. So if you have, some feelings that you think need to be discussed, you can reach out to us, you can reach out, to the counseling department, and, we will certainly, listen, and more importantly, find you the support that we think you need, to just to be healthy and to get back in line with the work that, that we need you all to do. So I shared this information, and I'm going to go over it briefly, but I shared it back in the springtime, just so our families know, especially our incoming 5th grade family, understand that there is a model that kind of, try to make sense of what this learning looks like. Even though we went online, March 13th, the Salmon Model, what it is a framework that examine how technology impacts, this work that we do. Inside, this circle is a ton of, softwares, programs that, that can be used to engage learning. And, we share this with, with our teachers. I shared it with our new teachers, who are on board here, at Benjamin Franklin Middle School, just so that they know that, this is what 21st century instruction look like. And while we may not have all of these applications, but, it is safe to say that, as I said before, every teacher doesn't use everything, but they do use, many of these programs as they see fit. And it really helps, engage our learners using some of the technologies that's, that's before us. So, it's called the Salmon Model, and, you may be hearing more about it, as we seek to, to make certain that we have the right programs to engage our learners. The Salmon Model expanded, as you can see, you may recognize, some of these icons, because they do represent, some of the programs that's probably on your cell phone. But again, our cell phones are beyond cell phone. They are tools for learning. And, it's one of the great things that we're doing as students, and this, I wouldn't even call it an experiment anymore. We are doing this work where we can, pretty much, augment, the instruction that's taking place, using other tools beyond the tools that even our teachers will be sharing with the students. So again, this moves us beyond the G Suite and, the docs, the slide, and the software that we find in Google. And it also, it introduces us, to other forms of learning that may be available, for our student population. So this is something that's increasingly, critical. As the students, who came here today, I don't know how many times I asked a student, to get out of the car, because I couldn't believe how tall many of you have gotten. It's been a lot of growing, and as I think about my girls at home, it's a lot of schoolwork is being done, but also a lot of eating and just resting. But as our students are resting, we certainly want to make certain that we look after their social and emotional learning needs. So the leadership, we understand the full significance of this, and what that means is that, we will use our support services, to make certain that we provide a space to, to just look after the needs of our students, because their social emotional growth and development is very important, to not be amongst your peers, to not see the adults that, that you've come to know, for months, to have to eat lunch with, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with eating lunch with mom and dad, but to eat lunch with mom and dad every day instead of, 20 or 30 of your friends, that can easily have some sort of impact, on our students. We want to have conversations about it, and we want to monitor it just to make certain that that those needs are looked after. And as I said before, we will continue to use Hero K-12 to model and even commend students and their families for the positive work that they're doing. But we're gonna have workshops, and we're gonna plan out some assemblies. They'll probably be virtual, where we can continue to look into the needs of our learners. Student services. So we talked a bit about the teaching. Our student services, not that they will continue, they have continued. Our INRS team will continue to work. Our school counseling suite will continue to function as it has always functioned, and it will be a space where students can drop in virtually to reach out to Mr. Smith or Ms. Klein, or to say hello to Ms. Henry. We want to make certain that the space that we had prior to leaving school is still intact. The only difference is it's virtual, and we'll be just as receptive as we've always been, when we were here in the building. Our child study team, they continue to be accessible, and they're doing phenomenal work, in terms of meeting, the needs of our learners. With regards to clubs and organizations, so upon board approval, there will continue to be clubs and organizations that will meet and discuss things that are important to our learners. We'll be talking more about that soon, but it doesn't mean that that clubs and organizations will not be functioning. If it's an essential club, and if we can find a way to meet and do this work virtually, certainly we will present it to the board for approval. Google Hangout suites. We're going to create safe space for our students. During recess, there was some students who found themselves under the tree socializing. Perhaps that will be, a Google Hangout space. Depending on a period. There was groups that Mrs. Smith worked with, and we'll create these Google Hangout spaces just so students can pop in, share, an experience, with their peers, and just kind of go back, about their day. Academic support will continue, with regards to tutoring and even small group instruction that will make certain is provided, outside of the classroom. And also, if you logged on to the board meeting last night, Dr. Irvin introduced the district pilot drop-in program. It's going to take place to support families for the first marking period. So what it is essentially is a program, because we do recognize as a district that many of our parents are essential workers, and they're on the front line. So as we attempt and work to to combat this this virus and work through this pandemic, many of our parents are on the front line. So the district have provided a space at Bryant and Whittier School where students can go to kind of do the same work that they would be doing at home under the supervision of some staff members. There's more information that will be provided for that with regards to this program. And of course, we will follow all CDC guidelines, with regards to the same. So the expectations for teaching, learning, and parenting, again, you can retrieve the schedule from the website. The codes, for the entire Google Classroom, they'll be provided by teachers. Parents, you can join, you can log on as well. So when a teacher gives an assignment, the student get it, and you'll get it as well. Learning can be monitored via the Google Classroom. The teachers will continue to, to interact and engage, with our learners, using the streams, the comments, and even the Google Meet section. Questions and concerns, you can forward them to me, to Mr. DeBell, and to Mrs. Williams, and we'll be certain to get back to you, as soon as possible, which is usually, under 24 hours. So what can you do as a student to assist? And as I shared earlier, it's very important, especially now more than ever, that you check your email before homeroom, during lunch, and also, after school. You all are at an advantage this this go around, because your cell phones will not be in your locker. So I know that you're happy about that, but since you have these devices, it's important that you check your emails, because you'll be getting a lot of information, probably more so than ever, regarding email. We want you to also check and monitor Skyward regularly. Monitor, your progress. And if something doesn't look right, just get a hold to it immediately. Have a conversation with your teacher, have a conversation with your counselor, and try to make the correction before things, pile up and get out of hand. We want you to be present for your class, and we want you to be online, for your class. So online, as they say, to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. So try to be early. There's nothing wrong with logging on a minute or two before class start, and you can just sit there, and once you hear the conversation, that everyone is ready to go. And more importantly, we want you all to participate. Lend your experience to your own learning experience to support yourself and your peers. As parents, again, we shared this information before, and information is the same. Sign on to receive the notifications, from your child's Google Classroom. Those are very important, because you'll be getting information at the same time that is sent to your student, and it really keeps us all on the same page. Check Skyward, make certain that students are logged on. If not, as I said, you'll get that hero notification where we can redirect him, to log on. Make certain that your child is reaching out to their teacher if they require additional information. They can reach out to their teachers, to their counselors, if it's something that they need. But we want them to take total advantage of, of engaging, their teachers and our staff members, in working with them. Provide breaks in between instruction. That's very important, because they're going to be sitting in front of a computer pretty much, as many of us do, especially if you work, if you work in an office setting. So, every now and then it's okay for them to get a break, to have, water, to stand up and stretch, to kind of just, clear their head and just get themselves focused, to engage in the learning that we will provide for them. Make certain that you stay in contact, with the with the school community here, with our counselors, the administration, the child study team, and more importantly, the instructional staff. And please, ask for help when needed. You don't have to wait until the end of the quarter. You can ask for help day 1, day 5, midway in. The help is here, so it's gonna always be here waiting for you. And lastly, please, you can assist Ms. Goodwin and Ms. Harris and join the PTO to organize with other parents, because they are always an ear for the entire parent community, and it's an amazing resource for us to have at Benjamin Franklin Middle School. Another thing that we'll be doing, last year, I created a Benjamin Franklin Middle School community that I pretty much that I supported, and I shared information, with students, with staff. If there was any announcements I needed to make, I shared it, also. So it, what it did is it just provided me with yet another avenue, to give information to students. So and to their families. So I'll be doing the same thing, and I'll be monitoring it and working just to make certain that we can enhance the level of communication, which I think it's better to have more than none. Our school counseling and other services. So the students at Benjamin Franklin Middle School, they will still have access to their counselors. Mr. Smith, Ms. Klein, Ms. Powell. They remain online and helpful and ready to engage with each and every one of you. They are I want to say a phone call away, but just a click away. There'll be spaces where you can click and you can enter. In fact, I think today I got an invite from Ms. Powell's group already. So her group is up and running and ready to go, and I thank her for that. Our child study team continue to work and meet the needs of our learners, under their care. They've been working all summer, doing amazing work, not just for our building, but for our district, because that's just the type of team we are here, at Benjamin Franklin Middle School. The mental health clinics, will continue, except, it will be virtual, but we still have that support, and we will reach out to Miss Golden Cooper, if we need those services, but we'll reach out to our counselors, and and they will help support us in those efforts, and of course the student, they can continue to reach out to the leadership here. We're always available. My number is here, and via email, or if you need to give me a call, whether you're a student or a parent, we always want to hear your concerns, as we make decisions or consider what we can do to make our remote learning experience better.
Mr. Williams, I apologize for interrupting you. This is just a 5-minute warning.
Okay.
Just I need enough time to end this one so I can start Whittier's Town Hall.
All right, thank you. I think I need just about 3 more minutes and we're good. All right, but thank you. I
Awesome.
appreciate that. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. So at this time, we want to make a few announcements, and the first announcement, is we want to welcome 4 individuals that will be joining the Benjamin Franklin Middle School community. One, Miss Samantha Singer, she'll be joining us as a PE health teacher. We have Mr. Joseph Murphy, who will be joining us as an ESL teacher. We have Ms. Yokeldi Hernandez. He'll also be joining us as a PE health teacher. And we have Mrs. Clexi Fernandez, who will be joining us as a Spanish teacher. So, these are new names to the community, very talented individuals, and we want to welcome them, to the Benjamin Franklin Middle School community. We also want to welcome back, as we did earlier, Mrs. Williams, welcome back. We're glad to have you back in the building, whether it's brick and mortar or virtual, welcome back. And we'll also be welcoming, Mrs. Santana Rivas back, our language arts teacher, and we have some thank yous, Mrs. Meta, she's going to be leaving the school. She announced her retirement, and we just want to wish her well. And we also want to wish Mr. Laverty well. Mr. Laverty, he just welcomed a beautiful bundle of joy, to his family. And, as he transitions, we also want to wish him well, but also thank him and Miss Meta, for their services, to Benjamin Franklin Middle School and to, to the TNET community. Other announcements, real quick is that, we will be launching, a 5th grade, student orientation. It's being organized right now. You'll be getting a communication about books and other resources and how we will be distributing them. And our lunch and breakfast distribution program, which will be grab and go. You'll be receiving more information about that. I'm thinking about Ms. Hollis right now because I should have sent out, some information that you will be getting in the next day or two with regards to lunch applications. So that information is forthcoming, and I believe that's it for our announcements. Mr. D, Ms. Williams, anything you all want to add to this?
Yeah, just so you could save the date, we'll send out information, but the 5th grade orientation will be a virtual meeting. It will be next Thursday, which is September 3rd at 7 p.m. And we will post the student supply list again to the BF website, and I'll also email it out tomorrow. There were several questions in the Q&A section about that, so we'll definitely make sure you get that information about the student supply list. And if you have any questions about your schedule, if you cannot log into Skyward, you could contact Ms. Henry. And if you have any scheduling questions, you could contact your grade level assistant principal or your grade level school counselor. Thanks, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, no, thank you. Ms. Williams, anything?
I believe Mr. Dubell covered most of it. I just want to reiterate again, I actually didn't say this before, but since I wasn't here for the 4 months and I heard of all the hard work and effort and teamwork that everybody put in, I'm just, I really was in awe of that. And I was sad that I wasn't there to help, but I'm glad that I'm back and I'm ready to get to work. And I just want to introduce my bundle of joy.
Yay.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
If it wasn't for her, I would have been there.
Nice. Well, welcome. Layla, right?
Layla Michelle.
Layla Michelle. Yeah. All right. So that concludes our town hall. I want to thank everyone, and Muhammad, thank you again for helping making this possible. Again, we appreciate the work that you do. I know that you're jumping off this call to set up another call for another school. So, thank you, everyone. And, I think, we'll have the questions that you all ask, and we will respond to them, in the next few days or so. I don't know if we'll be doing a FAQ, but we'll make certain that all questions are answered. Thank you all. Have a great evening. And, we look forward to having an amazing school year. Take it easy.
Night.